Hello and welcome to this new section on evaluating and making a decision to solve the problem in an excellent manner, and the first lecture of that. So in this section, we will see how can you use AI for excellence in evaluation and decision making, the next stage of after the creative idea generation. And in the first lecture, we will talk about how can you use decision support systems that use predictive analytics to simulate outcomes for many of the ideas that you have selected to pursue further. So that's what we will do in the this lecture. So how do you think you can use decision support systems to simulate outcomes? Any thoughts on that? You know, here is a practical step-by-step guide to use decision support system with predictive analytics to simulate outcomes before committing to a choice. So it's a simulation where you evaluate ideas and then you're able to commit to a choice. And in this whole process, you use predictive analytics and decision support system. So that's the overall snapshot. Let's take a look at the first step. Obviously, the first thing is to define the decision problem clearly. Before using any AI or analytic tools, you need to clearly specify your goals, which answers basically what decisions needs to be made. Is it a launch of a product, a change in pricing, hiring more staff? What are the possible actions? What are your alternatives, the different strategies or choices available to you to address that goal? And what are the key matrices, like what success looks like? Is it the revenue, cost, customer satisfaction, etc., etc.? And a good example of such a decision problem defined clearly would be, should we offer a 10 or 15 or 20% discount to increase sales without harming profit margins? So that will be a good, clear definition of a decision problem, right? Once you have defined that, you need to gather and prepare historical data. Now, the predictive analytics needs past data to forecast outcome, right? So you need to have past data which you can use in predictive analytics algorithms to predict the future outcomes. And for that, you need to collect internal data as well as like internal data like sales history, cost, customer demographics, marketing spend, as well as external data like market trends, competitor actions, economic indicators. And then you need to prepare the data by cleaning the missing or inconsistent value and aggregating data to a level relevant for your decision, right? It could be weekly, monthly, or any other way of aggregation. So gather and prepare the historical data like that. Then you need to build or use a predictive model. The predictive models can estimate the outcome of each decision option, and these common modules include things like regression model, which could be linear or logistic for predicting continuous values or probabilities. You could be using a time series model like ARIMA Prophet for forecasting over time, or you could be using machine learning models like random forest, XGBoost, neural networks for more complex relationship. And a good example of this would be, the model predicts sale change based on the discount percentages, season, and ad spends. So that's how you would use a predictive model. Then you simulate what if scenarios. So you've done the prediction, you know the possible outcomes, then you see what if scenario. Once the model is trained, you need to simulate each possible action and you input different decision variables, right? If it is a discount that you want to give and your options are 10, 15, 20, then you do that. And then the model predicts the likely outcome for each case, right? And an example of this would be, a 10% discount, the predicted sales is 120K, predicted profit is 30,000 US dollar, and customer retention is 85%. Whereas the other spectrum of the discount, 20%, you have a predictive sale of 160K, profit 20K, and customer satisfaction of 92%, right? So that's the what if scenario simulation. Then you use DSS to integrate predictions and decision logic. A DSS system combines, predictive analytics model like which gives the output, business rules, the constraints, priority, risk tolerance, and user interface for exploring scenarios. So that's the decision support system consisting of. Now, what are the popular DSS tools? You could be looking at Tableau and Power BI with forecasting models. You could be using Python Dash and Streamlit apps integrating machine learning models. You could be using SAP Analytics Cloud or IBM Planning Analytics, or simply you could be using Excel Plus Solver for small scale decision. Right. So that's how you can use DSS to integrate predictions and decision logic. Then you evaluate trade-offs, right? Prescriptive, predictive analytics will show you, impact versus risk, and there you can use DSS to compare options, visually, like in a scatter plot for profit versus retention, as you see here, and apply a constraint. Don't, like, for example, don't choose options where profit is less than 25,000 US dollar. So like this, you evaluate the trade-offs. Let's take a look at an example in action of using decision support system to use predictive analytics to simulate outcomes. So it's a scenario of a retail chain that is using DSS with predictive analytics to decide store staffing for the holiday season. Real life decision. The historical sales plus foot traffic plus staffing cost is fed into the random forest model. The model predicts revenue under different staffing schedules. And a DSS dashboard shows that adding two extra staff on weekend increases the revenue by 12% while keeping labor costs manageable. So that's an example of a decision support system being used to simulate outcomes. Now, what is the tech stack to implement this required? You can in data and modeling, you could use Python, scikit-learn, Prophet, or XGBoost. You could use R, or you could use AutoML tools. For simulation, you could use Python Dash, Streamlit, or Excel with Scenario Manager. And for deployment, you could use Tableau, Power BI, or web-based dashboard for decision maker. So that's the top of mind tech stack required to implement this decision support system. So what do we do next now? So in the next one, we will look at the second part of evaluation and decision making, where we will take a look at how can you use multi-criteria decision analysis tools powered by AI to rank many options that you would have generated, right? So let's take a look at that in the next lecture. So thank you so much for watching this first lecture on evaluation and decision making. I hope you're continuing to learn new things, continuing to enjoy, and I do look forward to see you again in the next lecture. Please feel free to message me if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer your questions, and do download the PDF file to take a look at anything that you need.